His name's Chris Hunter, he's absolutely awesome, mate. So start clapping.
Hi, great in Liverpool, you alright? Yeah. They probably haven't noticed, because to be fair, I know it is kind of hard to tell, but I think I'm starting to go a bit to the top. Yeah, alright. Now, I know a lot of people got receding hairlines, and that's fine. But I prefer to think of mine as more of a Malaysian hairline. Because that shit went missing years ago with no signs of recovery. It's true, I can't help it. Now, because of this forehead, and let's face it, probably a whole bunch of other shit as well, I've never really had much luck with the ladies. In fact, I've never even had a one-night stand. Thanks for the sympathy, you bastards. Let's try again. One more time. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, I've never had a one-night stand. Thank you. In fact, the only walk of shame that I've ever done is walk home from KFC with a family-sized bucket just for me. So yeah, as you said, I'm pretty new to this. This is my second ever stand-up thing. And I've got to be honest with you, I could be making pretty good money on the building site right now because I'm shit in bricks. Now, I know I don't look it, but I'm trying to get a bit healthier. Now, thanks a lot. You follow this line. Yeah, so you know, doctors are always talking about your 5 a day and stuff like that. And I thought I'd look up some other 5 a day type things and see what's out there, you know. And I discovered something that's ever so slightly wonderful, and I know you'll appreciate this one. Apparently, if you were to masturbate, see where I'm going, 5 times a week, you could get a chance to get prostate cancer by a third. That's a pretty fucking big deal. No one knows that. His face is a picture, you should see it. But anyway, yeah, so if you do that 5 times a week, you cut your chances by a third. But it's amazing that there isn't some sort of like health scheme for this. Like, imagine the advert to be like on TV for that. It's this family all sat in the living room, the dad's reading his paper. He says, "Hey, Timmy, have you took that pud today?" "No, Dad." "You get upstairs right now, and you took that pud. No one's getting prostate cancer in this house. Shit's expensive." That's always too funny. But imagine what packaging would be like on the 5 a week campaign. You know, instead of saying something like this smoothie contains 3 of your 5 a day, instead of more like this porno mag is good for 3 of your 5 weekly choice. Now, being the health conscious person that I am, and considering the amount of work I've already put into this little endeavour, I should hopefully stay prostate cancer free till I'm about 200 and so-ish. Now, have we got any older siblings in? No, just me. Okay, that's weird. Well, anyway, I'm the oldest of 3 kids. I was 7 and 19 when my mother and sister were born, which meant that I was old enough to help out with them babies, you know? And you know what 9 words I used to dread hearing? "Can you put this nappy in the bin, please?" And my response was always, "Ugh." And mum would say, "What are you pulling my face for? It's only wet." So I have to say to her, "Yeah, but you know what it's well with? Piss. Possibly shit." And I wouldn't do the same thing to her with tissues. "Can you put this in the bin for me, please?" "It's only snot. Possibly cheers." Could be on a 5 a week. Now, I knew I was probably going to be pretty nervous tonight, so I did what any fully grown-ass man does when he's feeling nervous, and I called my mum. She's into like home memories and shit like that, so I said to her, "Have you got anything that might be able to help me out on the night?" And she said, "Yeah, there's a good one for you. What you do, right, and you can join in with me if you want, if you're feeling nervous for whatever reason." So, Henry, if you're still here, bug it off. Harry, thank you. Yeah, so what you do, Harry, join in. You hold your hand out flat like this, right? And you look at your palm, and you count the lines around your palm, and it helps reduce your heart rate, calms you down. It also helps with your memory. So say, you actually do it, that's awesome. So say, it helps your memory as well. So say, for example, you're trying to remember your set. It helps remember it. I've cheated a bit because I've written my set on my hand. It's only a gag, I don't need it. So yeah, you guys want to hear one of the first jokes I ever wrote? Right, I've got to warn you, right, it's a pretty bad old school groaner joke, but I almost guarantee you will tell me it can work tomorrow. Right, okay, here it is. Have you ever experienced taking a hooker camping? No? Well, you should, because that is fucking intense. Yeah. I told you it's bad. And I'm going to leave you this little tale about my nan now. My nan's 91, and she's fucking awesome. She's one of the best women you'll ever meet in your life. And she lives in one of those sheltered accommodation places. You know, the ones where they have those orange pull cords that you pull if you've had a fall and you can't get up. Or, you know, if you're not in a shit for 5 weeks and you feel like telling someone. That's what they're for. But anyway, she gets a bit bored in there. So she developed this little hobby of hers a while ago. She doesn't do it so much anymore, but what she used to do is she used to set her toaster on fire. Because that way she gets to see these muscular, sexy firemen come out and she can get an eye for the bodies. That's the kind of woman she is. Right? But I think she forgets that she lives in the middle of Anfield. So instead of getting these sexy, muscular 20-somethings, she gets these middle-aged fat scousers called John, Billy and Kenny. I don't know about you, but they're not the kind of guys that I want to see on a calendar anywhere, all oiled up. You know what I mean? In fact, the only time these guys will be covered in oil is if they've all been to the chippy after a piss up and got kebab grease all over their faces. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to be buying that calendar anytime soon. So thanks a lot guys, that's my time.